Detective Emily Harper couldn't shake the phone call she'd received yesterday. Shaky and frightened, the voice on the other end had whispered about nightmares that were too real, a creature clawing at the edges of reality and creeping into dreams. It was the kind of call that set her on edge and told her she needed to act fast. The town was only 30 minutes outside of Emily's town, a small, unassuming place she'd never had reason to visit. But as she pulled into the quiet streets at dusk, an unnatural stillness seemed to hang in the air, as though the town itself were holding its breath. She arrived at the address the caller gave her and found Sarah, one of the first women to experience these horrifying visions. Sarah sat curled on her sofa, clutching her belly protectively, her face pale and gaunt. Her eyes darted to every shadow, as though they held unspeakable threats. "When did it start?" Emily asked, her voice low. Sarah hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. "A week ago. I thought it was just a bad dream. But it kept happening. And it's getting stronger. I can feel it even when I'm awake." Emily felt a chill creep down her spine. What does it want? Sarah's eyes glazed over as she recounted the nightmare. "I was standing alone in a dark, endless forest, and I could hear it whispering, calling to me from the shadows. 'Give me the child. Give me the child.' And then it would come closer, a thing made of darkness itself, with a voice like the scraping of bones." Each woman in the town had described the same creature, a shifting, ethereal being that threatened to steal their unborn children, clawing at them in dreams and leaving a haunting sense of dread in its wake. Sarah, like the others, would wake up gasping for breath, convinced that the creature hadn't fully left, that some piece of it lingered in the shadows. Emily knew she couldn't protect these women with just patrols or guard shifts. The only way to end this was to confront the creature herself. That night, she sought the local historian, a man named Jonah who kept a strange collection of old charms and symbols she hoped might help. "The Dream Stalker," he murmured, pulling out a worn, tattered book, "exists between worlds, detective. It feeds on grief and rage, and it lingers because it believes it can replace what it's lost. Some believe it is the spirit of a grieving mother who lost her child. You won't defeat it with any worldly weapon." "Then how?" Emily asked, her voice low. Jonah looked at her with pity. "It wants what it lost. The only way to stop it is to confront it in the place where dreams bleed into reality." "How can I return what she had lost?" Jonah went to his desk and pulled out a small, wooden box with intricate carvings on its cover. "A long time ago, there were two warring families who lived in the woods. One day, while most of their folks were out doing farm work, someone set fire to their houses. Everything burned to the ground. Years later, someone found this in the chapel of the cemetery. Perhaps this is what the spirit is looking for. Do you think she will stop if we give this to her?" Emily asked. "I don't know. No one has ever tried to communicate with her," Jonah said. "Is there a way to talk to her?" Emily said. The man hesitated. "There is a potion that can help you enter its domain, but I can't guarantee your safe return. You could get trapped in the Dreamstalker's realm. Forever." Emily knew it was dangerous, but she was out of options. "I have to try, or else these women might lose their children." Jonah nodded. That night, she prepared to dream walk into the creature's world. With Jonah's guidance, she laid down, her mind focused on descending into a place no mortal should ever go. In her dream, she found herself in the same forest Sarah had described, the air thick with fog, twisting and writhing around her. Every shadow seemed to hold movement, and an eerie whisper echoed in the distance. The ground beneath her feet was damp and cold, each step squelching as she pushed forward, heart pounding. The whisper grew louder, closer. "Give me the child. Give me the child." A sudden chill clawed at her spine as a figure emerged from the darkness. It was indistinct, shifting, but Emily could make out hollow, sunken eyes, black pits that seemed to devour any trace of light. Its form was humanoid but twisted, limbs elongated and bent at unnatural angles. Are you here?" the creature rasped, its voice a low, sinister echo. Emily tried to steady her breath, to stay strong in the face of the thing's malice. "You're haunting these women, these mothers. What do you want?" The creature leaned closer, its cold, rotting breath filling the air. "They have taken what is mine. I will take what is theirs." Emily forced herself to stand her ground, swallowing her fear. "You lost something, didn't you? Someone precious? Someone took your child from you. But stealing their children won't bring yours back. They know nothing of what happened to you. Don't take your vengeance out on them." The creature let out a howl, a keening wail that shattered the silence of the forest. The sound tore through Emily, cutting through her like shards of ice. It was filled with an endless hollow grief, a void of sorrow so deep it seemed bottomless. "You know nothing of loss," it hissed, voice twisted with agony. But as the creature's form flickered, a shadow of humanity passed over its hollow eyes. It paused, a strange stillness overtaking it. At that moment, Emily saw the thing's true face, a face once human, now lost to grief and rage. Gently, Emily lifted the wooden box and placed it on the ground. She reached out a hand, feeling the cold darkness swirl around her fingers. "Is this what you're looking for? There's peace if you let go," she whispered, barely able to hear herself over the creature's anguish. The creature shuddered, its form flickering like a dying flame. It recoiled from her touch, but placed cold fingers around the box, its edges dissolving into mist as its tortured wail echoed through the dark forest one last time. The fog closed in, thicker and heavier, until there was nothing left but silence. Emily awoke with a gasp, back in the town, drenched in cold sweat. The room was silent, no whispers, no flickers of shadows. The oppressive darkness that had lingered in the town for weeks was gone. Jonah stood from his chair and ran to Emily. "Thank heavens you're okay. I thought you would never return." "What happened? Did you see her?" Emily said, her voice faint and shaky. Jonah shook his head. "No, I didn't see her, but when I woke up, the box was gone." Emily closed her eyes and sighed. She did it. The dream stalker took her offering. Perhaps now she too would find peace. Oh yeah. The women slept soundly for the first time in weeks, and from that night on, the nightmares ceased. But Emily would never forget the creature's final cry, the shadow of grief it left lingering in her mind, a reminder that some spirits are too broken to mend, that some hauntings are born from the deepest pits of sorrow. And in the quiet moments, just before sleep took her, Emily sometimes thought she could still hear it, faint whispers, remnants of a shattered soul clinging to the world of the living, searching for what it had lost.